Hi YouTube. So today I'm going to be talking about Venus in 8th house. It's been like a really long time since I've uploaded anything in this channel, and I'm sorry because I know a lot of you guys wanted the Venus in 8th house video and I skipped over it, and that's there's a reason to why I did that, mainly because I have this placement, and like every time I try to film it, like I swear I filmed it like so many times, but every time I did, like yeah, it would I couldn't like express what I wanted to, and I couldn't speak the way I wanted to, and then I felt like I was talking so much about myself, and it was like no, it wasn't good. So yeah, and then there's been some stuff going on in my life also that I've like just been preoccupied with. So that's why I haven't filmed. So yeah, let's just get started. So Venus is the planet of love, grace, beauty, elegance, charm, wealth, prosperity, inheritances. It's like a really loving like energy. It's really a beautiful energy. And then the 8th house is the house traditionally ruled by Scorpio. Your Venus does not have to be in the sign of Scorpio. This is just like the 8th sign of the zodiac, so it belongs to the 8th house. But your Venus is going to have some scorpionic qualities. Um, I am shuffling my tarot so that I could speak better, and I do that. So yeah, let's get started. Your Venus is gonna have scorpionic qualities when it comes to love because um yeah, it just is. You're going to be jealous, you're going to be possessive, you're going to be kind of obsessive if you like someone, especially if you like astrology. Um, I don't know, but for me, I always like look up the person's birth chart, and like yeah, it's not like necessarily the most healthy, but like that's just what I do, like I obsess over like astrology and the partner, so yeah. Another thing is that you can be very appealing. You have a certain magnetism that attracts people. A lot of times you can be very manipulative. You can be use your um, magnetism and your aura to get what you want, and you can be very convincing also. So people just want to do like you can get people to do what you want them to do, or give them what you want them to give you. And it's very easy to seduce someone if you have this, especially if you're a guy. Like males with this placement or any Scorpio placement just really know how to grasp like a female's attention and stuff, and they know how to say things to seduce them and all of that, just because they at times take this for granted, and so do women, but it's more common like in with men. But like it's also not a good placement because this is also the house of death, rebirth, transformation, all of that. And it just means that there may have been things in your childhood, especially related to family, that may have been very heartbreaking. There may have been a lot of deaths in the family, like someone may have died, your mother might have been one, or your father. Um, but the mother usually, and you usually inherit things from your mother, if you unless you have other aspects that indicate otherwise. But usually the mother either has like addictions run in the family a lot. Maybe you are prone to addictions. There might have been like abuse in a household. And if it's none of that, like have to do with like your roots or your family, you may encounter like a partner, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband, wife, whatever it is, that you just may be in a toxic relationship with them, or you might have been abused, or you might have been hurt or abandoned or neglected or rejected. Those are like some of also like your biggest fears, or just being like abandoned and left alone. But like you have an extreme love nature in the sense that you don't give up. And that's where like obsessive, jealous qualities come in, because even when things go south in relationships, you still stick with it because you still have hope. That and like loving someone is like a really hard thing for you to do. So when you do it to someone, it's like, especially if they don't have any scorpionic placements or any 8th house placements or anything like that, you might come on someone who's really strong or something, and they don't understand that like you've just been hurt before. So you are naturally a person that loves and loves and loves. Along with that being said, you might be interested in like taboo things. This house is also the house of sex, so um anything related to like sex, you might have a really extreme sex drive, or you may be interested in things like astrology, occult, meditation, crystals, tarot, things like that. Just like more mysterious. It's really the house of mystery. So whoever has this placement has like a different like story, and like they're different, nobody really knows what goes on in an eighth house person's head because they're really secretive. We know how to keep secrets, we know how to hide our feelings. Like, it's insane. Like, we can like, I mean, I don't really lie, but like for me personally, like I tell half truths. And like I have a Pisces moon, so I'm not really good with like, I think sometimes like my white lies to prevent someone from being hurt, because that's like the Venus in eighth house. It's like, oh, like I've done this, I've been with this, but I don't want you to know because like you're gonna judge me, you're gonna leave me, like things like that. Fear of abandonment and fear of like the one person that you love hating you is a reason why you tell like white lies or make like excuses that you don't really feel are like white lies, because you feel as if like you're protecting them, but they are white lies. If that may apply to some of them. A lot of times you can be really vindictive. This is really common in like females being really jealous of other females, females being very possessive over their partner, and yeah, and females are also really likely to become the obsessive ones. Men are more prone to be the stalkers, to be more vindictive if like their girlfriend gets a new boyfriend, like they'll try to intervene with that, or like that's like the bad side. There's like the bad side of Scorpio placements where they're really vindictive and really jealous and really hateful, but then there's also the good ones that just want to like love and be loved in their like full form. Mainly like this placement just wants someone that can understand them, because usually a lot of times they come with like rough past, and they like we come off a lot more tougher and more closed off, and we're not that easy to open up to people, but like on the inside we're actually like really big softies when it comes to love, and we just want like a partner. You rather like connect like soul wise, you know what I mean? Like you want to share the good and the bad, but like for you, you're not necessarily like a cheater emotionally. These people like connect with their partners emotionally, and the only reason like they would cheat is if they found an emotional connection with someone else. So when their partner cheats on them, they're automatically gonna assume that their partner's like that soul connection. That's like, oh, like you betrayed me, you betrayed my trust, because like for them, like love is a deeper level of love is understanding, and they're prone to toxic relationships. You guys can be very prone to toxic relationships. A lot of times you can be very controlling and manipulative, and you want things like to go your way, and when they don't, like you can get a little bit upset with that, and you tend to read in between the lines of like love relationships really deeply, or like you can become really obsessed and replay things in your head a lot. This just really depends on like what your Venus sign is in. Like for me, mine is in Aries, my Venus is in Aries, and it's in the 8th house. So like I'm very upfront and flirtatious with like anybody really. It doesn't like, but like for me, like if I like one person, then I only like, I'll flirt with other people, but like one person like has my heart, one person has like my emotions, one person has like my soul. You know what I mean? So like if you have more of like a Venus in Gemini, a Venus in Aquarius, like Venus in air signs and Venus in fire signs are known just to be very flirtatious. So this is like something that you can display with like anybody. But like there's that one person that like you share, like that you're like emotionally binded to, or like your soul like is binded to. So like yeah, that's a thing with the like weird fire and air sign Venuses are more likely to show like, oh, I don't care, like, oh, I'm a very free spirit, oh, I'm very loving, but at the core, like, bro, my Venus is like a Scorpio, don't talk to anybody else. Don't betray my trust. Like, don't do any of that. Like, we can come off like very fun. Now, for people that have like a Venus in Taurus, especially like a Venus in Taurus or a Venus in Scorpio or a Venus in Pisces that has this placement, you're going to be a lot more clingy. It's going to be a lot harder for you to get over relationships that you feel as if you put the time and the effort and the work into. Especially now since it's like Scorpio season and Pluto just went direct. Like, I know relationships may be rocky and they might be like going through a transformative phase. So yeah, I know like my heart goes out to those who are in a troublesome spot right now, because people are just going through hard times right now, like emotionally. So if you are one of those people that's going through a hard time, I feel for you and I'm there. I'm like wishing you the best. But let's see, what else should I talk about? Oh, money. Okay, when you get married, you're probably going to come into money. Or when your parents die, you'll probably come into money. You might get along really well with like your in-laws. It's really likely to happen that like at first they might not like you, but like they'll still like you. You know what I mean? Or you might come into money through your in-laws. Now, what else? Just as your personal appeal, like you're just seen as someone who's very attractive, and like when you love someone, like you really love someone and you really put all like your heart into it, you know, and yeah, who cares? You can be jealous and possessive, but if they don't like that about you, like don't stay in it, because I know that there's some of you guys right now watching this that like someone so much that to a point where like it hurts you to like think of you guys separated, or maybe you're in an abusive relationship right now. Any of that stuff, you know what I mean? Or maybe, oh, this is also the house of death. So like your marriage partner or your children could pass away before you. I know that's like seems like terrible, but like I went to a psychic with my sister the other day, and like I always have this like dream that I have three children, and me and my husband are on like the highway or whatever, and then we go off a bridge into like the lake or whatever, and like my kids die. And then when we were at the psychic, she told me the same thing. Like she told me that I'm gonna have like three kids, and like she told me the genders, and it was the same genders, and like she was like, something bad's gonna happen, and I'm like, oh great, thanks for speaking it into existence. So like what I'm saying is that like tragic events happen. Multiple tragic events happen with you, and a lot of times it can be reoccurring. Like in your childhood, you can come from a broken home or a family of abuse and like addiction, and then as you get older, when it comes to love, then you start putting up more walls. Well, at first you may not put up walls. At first you may think like no one's gonna hurt you, you know. That's usually how Scorpio placements work. It's like as their heart gets more broken, like the more tragic events happen, the more closed off they get, and the more that people hurt them, the more closed off they get, and the more people abuse like their trust and abuse them, like their love nature, they get closed off also. So it's really hard to open up, and it's just really hard to show all like your true colors. And it's not that you don't want to, like you want to like be with someone wholeheartedly. I mean like you really just like aspire to have like a soulmate connection with someone, and just to share everything, because you know you're usually someone that's like, a lot of people with this placement are like trust like no one. No, they usually don't have someone that knows who they really are. You know, there's a really secretive side to you. There's also like a very primal side to you when it comes to like sex and love and all of that. And not a lot of people see it. Like nobody sees it really. You're really good at hiding like who you are. And it's not like a negative who you are. It's just more of a vulnerable side of you. It's more of a sad side of you. It's more of like maybe you deal with a lot of like depression. Maybe you deal with addiction. And you're good at hiding it, especially if you are addicted to things. People here can fall into like alcoholism. I mean like can become like alcohols and drugs addicts. A lot of like you're not known to die early in your life, But if you do like fall into substances and stuff, that's a possibility. Or if you're just really reckless, because there can be a point where you're just like fuck it, and then one day you have like you're going like really really fast on the highway, and then something happens like that. But usually you die of like a peaceful death. Usually everybody dies before you, and that's what sucks about it, because like you'll usually have like all of your loved ones, like they'll fade away. People that you love will like um my computer always dies when I film this video also, and it really freaking sucks because now it's like tinted. But anyways, I think you guys like understand it, and you guys do feel really deeply, and you guys hurt for a long time, and it's hard to get over love. But just know this, you're stronger than like any other sign really when it comes to emotions and like being able to deal with the emotions and stuff. You're stronger because you always come out changed. Like usually relationships and like tragic events change you, and you're really someone who has the power to manifest anything they want in their life as long as they put like their thought to it. And a lot of self-doubt can come with this placement, but don't let it get the best of you. Another thing before I like end the video, don't worry if someone doesn't reciprocate your feelings, or don't like obsess over it, because sometimes we are given karmic relationships, especially people with this placement, to teach us that we are worth more than what we think that we are, and we're worth more than the love that we're given a lot of the times, because you can give yourself wholeheartedly and you can be obsessed with someone, but then the person doesn't reciprocate that, or just mistreats you, or doesn't take into account like your feelings and things like that. So usually those like getting out of relationships just like take time and stuff, but just be aware and acknowledge what karmic relationships are and what healthy and abusive relationships are, because 8th house people can get into this mindset, especially if like their childhood was like kind of abrupt and stuff, where like arguing in relationships and fighting and getting back together and fighting, or just toxic relationships, like that's what they perceive as normal. Like the more arguments, the more jealousy, the more possessiveness, and like basically all of that, they signify that as like you guys loving each other more. You know what I mean? Like the more like tantric and the more toxic and the more obsessive it is, a lot of the times like Venus and 8th house people can take that into account and believe like this is like your soulmate, like they love you because they hurt you, and then you love them because you hurt them. I don't know, it's usually some weird cycle like that. Just know if you're in one of those relationships, it's either like a karmic relationship and you should read up on that, or it's just a relationship that doesn't serve you, because you deserve someone that loves you like so much, just like the way someone that gives you a peace of mind. It's not the person that you're obsessed about, or the person that gives you butterflies in your stomach, or the person that has you on a chain and doesn't tie you down or anything, that you should be obsessed about, or that you should love. Or that's not the person. The person that gives you freaking anxiety and overwhelms, like where are they, what are they doing, like do they like me, do they not? Like that's not the person for you. The person that gives you peace of mind, love, adoration, and respect, that's the person for you. The person that understands who you are and accepts it is the person for you, not the person who pushes you down or anything. Because I don't know why I'm saying this, but I feel like someone has to hear it. I feel like there's someone watching this that was directed towards. And if you realize it's you, like just know like you're worth so much more, and you're just so much more beautiful. Anybody with this placement is so freaking magnetizing and so beautiful and powerful and capable. You can be very psychic, very intuitive, very very psychic and intuitive. You guys can be mediums. you know, just that stuff like with magic and the other realms you really connect with. You know, you may be interested in like psychology because you're really good at picking at the mind and figuring out what's wrong, just because you're so prone to self-analyze and to probe at yourself, like, why did I do that? Why am I the way that I am? That's very eighth housey, like, you know, putting things together, being a little detective. You're really good at figuring out things, especially if someone's keeping a secret from you. You can really find it out if you wanted to. Things like that. You're good at, let's see, what else is in my head? I'm just going off and playing off of whatever comes in my head. And there's nothing left, I think. Well, if you think I left anything out, leave a comment. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.